Hello students, welcome to Read Medprep Academy channel. Today in Ecosystem Part 1, we are going to discuss about the introduction to the ecosystem and the structure of the ecosystem. Have you seen the lakes, ponds and pools in your surroundings? They are all called water bodies with many components in them. You can list so many things which are found in the water bodies. Mud, nutrients, clay, dissolved gases, planktons, microorganisms, plants like algae, hydrilla, nelumbo, nymphea, and animals like snake, small fish, large fish, frog, tortoise, and crane are the components that are found in the water bodies which are all together form an ecosystem. Further, we all know that plants and animals are prominent living components in the environment. They interact with the non-living components such as air, water, soil, sunlight, etc. For example, we have studied that one of the life processes like the photosynthesis, which utilizes sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, nutrients from the soil, and this releases oxygen into the atmosphere. From this we understand that there is exchange of materials that takes place between the living and the non-living components. So we can study the structure, function and the types of ecosystem. What is the definition of ecosystem? The term ecosystem was proposed by A.G. Tansley in 1935, who defined it as the system resulting from the integration of all the living and the non-living factors of the environment. Whereas Odom in 1962 defined ecosystem as the structural and the functional unit of ecology. Parallel terms of ecosystem were coined by various ecologists. Biognosis by Carl Moebius, microcosm by S.A. Forbes, geobiogenesis by V.V. Dokuchev and G.F. Morozov, Holocene by Friedrich, biosystem by August Thienemann, bioinert body by Vladimir Vernadsky. Now let us move on to the structure of the ecosystem. The ecosystem comprises of two major components. They are abiotic components, which are called the non-living components, or the biotic components or the living components. Abiotic components, which are called the non-living components, includes the climatic factors like the air, water, sunlight, rainfall, temperature and humidity. Edaphic factors, which are concerned with the soil, air, soil, water and pH of the soil. Topographic factors like the latitude, the altitude, the organic components like the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and humic substances, and inorganic substances like the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and phosphorus. Here you can see the types of abiotic components, the edaphic factors, the topographic factors and the climatic factors. The abiotic factors, which is depicted diagrammatically here in the images, which are non-living components of the ecosystem like the water, the atmosphere, the temperature, the wind, the sunlight, and the edaphic factors like the soil concern factors. Abiotic components play a vital role in any ecosystem, hence the total inorganic substances present in any ecosystem at a given time is called standing quality or standing state. Now, biotic components, which are called the living components, it includes all the living organisms like the plants, animals, fungi and bacteria. They form the trophic structures of an ecosystem. On the basis of nutritional relationship, trophic levels of an ecosystem has two components, autotrophic components and heterotrophic components. What are these autotrophic components? Autotrophs are organisms which can manufacture the organic compounds from simple inorganic components through a process called photosynthesis. In most of the ecosystems, green plants are the autotrophs and they are called the producers. Autotrophs form the starch, which is the food material, by the process called photosynthesis, where the sun energy is absorbed by the leaves and the carbon dioxide is utilized from the atmosphere, the water is absorbed from the soil and the leaves prepare the food in the form of a starch and stores it by the chlorophyll. And during this process, oxygen is released into the atmosphere by the plant. What are the heterotrophic components? These organisms which consume the producers are called consumers and can be recognized in macro and micro consumers. Macro consumers refer to herbivores carnivores and omnivores, which can be the primary consumers, the secondary consumers, and the tertiary consumers. Here in this image, you can see the macro consumers of different types. The herbivores, which are the plant or the animal that eats plants only. For example, the squirrel, the deer, the giraffe. Carnivores are plant or animal that eats only animals. Example, the fox or wolf, the crocodiles, the sharks in the oceans. Omnivores are plants or animal that eats both plants and animals. Example, the porcupine, the hen, the bear. So 10% of energy alone is available to organisms at every level to make new biomass. For example, the producers are consumed by the primary consumers. The primary consumers are consumed at the secondary consumers. The secondary consumers are consumed by the tertiary consumers. At each level, only 10% of energy is utilized and 90% of energy is lost as heat and in undigested materials. What are microconsumers? They are called decomposers. Decomposers are organisms that decompose the dead plants and animals to release organic and inorganic nutrients into the environment, which are again used by plants. Example, bacteria, actinomycetes, and fungi. Here you can see the different types of decomposers: the earthworms, the slugs, the millipedes, and some insects like houseflies, different types of bacteria, different type of fungi like the mushrooms and the molds. The amount of living materials present in a population at any given time is known as standing crop, which may be expressed in terms of number or biomass per unit area. Here in this pyramid you can see the standing crop, which is the biomass produced by the producers in the base level. Then in the middle you can see the biomass produced by the primary consumers, and the top you can see the biomass of the secondary consumers. What is the difference between standing crop and the standing state? Standing crop is the amount of inorganic nutrients present in an ecosystem. It's an abiotic component. The standing state is the amount of biomass present in an ecosystem. It is a biotic component. So biomass can be measured as a fresh weight or dry weight or carbon weight of organisms. Biotic components are essential to construct the food chain, food web, and ecological pyramids. Here you can see the upright pyramid of biomass in a terrestrial ecosystem, where the produced are around 1000 kg, and this produced is consumed by the herbivores, which is of only 10%. And another 10% is consumed by the primary carnivores and another 10% by the top carnivores. Hence, you can see on the right side, the 1000 kg goes on to 100 kg, then the 10 kg and 1 kg. So, there is 90% loss of heat and energy. So, today in Ecosystem Part 1, we discuss about the introduction to the ecosystem and structure of the ecosystem. Thank you. Kindly subscribe, like, share and comment the channel Read Medprep Academy. Log on to www.readmedprepacademy.com for MCQs. Facebook ID is Read Medprep Academy for free MCQs. Our email is readmedprepacademy@gmail.com. Our Instagram is Read Medprep Academy. Join Read Medprep Academy to prepare yourself for the UG and the PG NEET exam. Post your questions in the comment box. We will reply with appropriate answers. Thank you very much.